Good evening, viewers. The Idea Factory welcomes you to an exciting discussion on MSME program. As you all know, we do fortnightly programs on various topics from startups to MSMEs to globalization. And we are very happy with the progress. Slowly, Idea Factory is becoming a global platform where not only we are getting consultants from India, but now we also have a panel of consultants across the world. And you are seeing us interacting on various topics of discussion across the borders as well. Today we have with us Mr. Tuhin Mukharjee. As you know, Mr. Mukherjee has been a constant companion of the Idea Factory, and we have been discussing various topics on MSME consulting over the years. Mr. Mukherjee doesn't need an introduction separately because we have introduced him before, but definitely he has been putting feathers in his cap. Just as we told the other day, he has been, is a TEDx speaker. Today we have a new topic that he's become an ambassador of Kotler in India, and he's the sole representative of the Kotler Impact Project in India. Mr. Mukherjee, thank you for your contribution, and I hope you will touch upon this topic during the discussion today.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So it's a great pleasure to be here and discussing about the session. So it's a privilege to be here, and I'll try to do the justice from my part. And thanks, Mr. Majumdar, for inviting me.
Right. Then let us start the discussion. As we today we are going to discuss about the MSME and the challenges that we face, and also some discussion points across how MSMEs can impact improve their business over a period of time. Mr. Mukherjee, if you can touch upon the overall outlook of MSMEs in India at this point in time. Over to you.
Yeah, this is a first question. The MSMEs in India. So actually, MSME is the backbone of any nation. Means it's a backbone basically for any economy. So we need to understand that our economy doesn't move only with the corporates, but the MSME means small and medium organizations are the growth engine. So we need to be very focused, concentrate on its growth. The current situation or the current outlook means in India is very positive and optimistic. We can see lots of the MSCs are coming up. They're getting registered in the stock exchange. There is a huge growth also, and there are so many unicorns. But the picture is not that good and it's not that rosy, because we know that more than 85% organization become means irrelevant, or they close their operation within 3 years of starting their operations. So it's a very difficult, and it's a very means kind of the it's a huge problem for the organization to make it a successful and to make it to scale up, like means to convert it into a global organization or bigger organization. So that's always a challenge for the SME. But India has got so many, more than 6 crore SMEs, and they're actually trying to do better. But I think there is a lack of some structured effort, and there is also kind of the knowledge or the kind of the product marketing or insufficient finance, or somewhere the government government help is not in a proper way. So that is why they are not becoming successful in the way they want to be. So there is a need that we can help the SME. We can help the SME to become global, or actually to actually have a larger operation and become more successful. And that is the kind of the outlook right now in India. And I'm really means happy to see this kind of the positive outlook from the SME and the startup side. So that's the kind of the thing I can share. And but there are so many challenges. So I would like to ask Mr. Majumdar, what could be the challenges and how these things can be overcome?
Right. I think let us, share some small slides based on which we can continue the discussion. Right. See, as you know that some of the challenges are being faced by us as well. As you know that we are also a small organization, and the kind of challenges that we are talking of MSME, we are ourselves going through the same challenges. So it's not that something which we are talking from others, but through our own experiences also. One of the major things that we have seen while we are talking to a lot of MSMEs is the main part is a lot of them are looking for funds, and many of them are not getting funds. I mean, the other day we had a good discussion between a client and a funding organization, and the funding organization flatly refused the client because his current results are not good after the COVID. And he said, if we give you the loan, you will not be able to repay the loan, which is a great reality. So until and unless you have your top line rectified, your financial issues will continue to remain. Okay, so that's one of the things, and because your the customer side, if it's not built up, no amount of funding will help you solve the problem. And that is the thing that we often talk to many of the startups and the MSMEs also. Will funding solve your real problem? It may not, because the real problem will be solved by revenues, and revenues will come from customers. So if you are trying to fix up the customer issue with a bit of funding, it may not solve a long-term problem. So your customers are the king. You have to focus on your customer, and your revenues and all other problems will come in place. So that is one of the major learnings that we have had from few interactions in the recent times. And if you don't have funds, you also cannot proceed on the innovation front. And that is true for partly for us also. We talk of so much innovation, but until and unless you have a certain amount of funds, ideas will remain ideas. It will never be converted into innovation. So it's very important to take a step-by-step growth path, wherein you can, and by growth path, you mean add more and more customers over a period of time with a certain amount of revenue, with a certain amount of profitability, and that can slowly will bring you back to innovation. Let us remember, innovation is long term, and you have to build an operational model over which your innovation model can be built. So until and unless you slowly build your operational model, your innovation model will not be picked up. So while we talk about innovation, we also have to understand that it's not an easy job. It's quite a challenge, but at the same time, it's very interesting also. Why? Because that is the challenge. If you solve the problem, there are great learning. And when you go to the level of innovation, you come out with new products and services. That's a great, what should I say? It's a great development of faith on your own capabilities. Another thing that we are seeing is that most of the MSMEs, the startups, they don't have manpower. It's still a one-man or a two-man show, or a very small team of people who are working along with it without because there is no revenue stability. They cannot employ people. Even if they employ people, they have to let go. If you look at the headlines of the big startups and the MSMEs, they are letting go of people left, right, and center, and these are the new headlines that are coming up. Because even this year, when we thought that COVID is gone and businesses are going to pick up, the whole news that is coming from the startup zone is people are laying off manpower from the bigger established. We are talking of the Byju's, we are talking of NISA, and all the big companies who are kind of covered the headlines. They are also laying off people. Even the IT companies are laying off people. Now, there's a whole new issue altogether, because revenue, it's a very unstable world even today. So the bigger companies are not able to handle their businesses. The smaller companies definitely will not be able to handle their businesses. Okay. Also, when you are in a space, you will always be faced with competition. Why? Because you are not join something which is very, very unique. Of course, you are in a zone which could be a better version of the market, but the market is already flooded with certain products like that. So when you start, if you don't pick up fast, obviously your competition will completely take over your new customers, and you will not be able to run fast. My own experience on the telecom sector, and I saw if the company did not run fast, all the big companies took away all the customers, and the company could not establish itself as a big player in the market. So these are some of the major things. Also, you have to build slowly a certain amount of minimum amount of infrastructure, while we are also building an on the digital platform. But going forward, we cannot build a worldwide organization only on the digital infrastructure. We have to build a certain amount of physical infrastructure to build credibility of the organization, for the address, for manpower, and everything to put together. So there is a step-by-step growth process that has to be followed by the MSME. Now, what is the speed, or what is the timeline? It will all depend upon the ambition and the current status of the MSME. But definitely there has to be a growth path, and faster it is, better it is. What we have seen in my own experience, the businesses with larger financial power grow very fast because they have been able to pump money at the initial stages of the business, and that establish themselves at a very fast. So they don't think about their revenue or customers initially. They pump in their own money, and that ramps up the business very fast. But unfortunately, not every business is of that capability. They have to generate revenues from here, and that is being plowed in the business, which itself is a very slow process. So while we appreciate the growth of the big business houses, we also understand the pains of the smaller MSMEs. Okay, so these are some of the thoughts that we go around the MSMEs, and there are more challenges that we believe people would come up with, but these are some thoughts that we are also going through, and we are also talking about it, and trying to solve the solution for small businesses. This is in continuation what Mr. Tuhin Mukharjee has been talking about, because we all know, though it is a lot of challenge, does that mean that there is no positivity of the MSME? Is MSME a looked after sector or a neglected sector? To be very honest, today the MSME sector is a very, very looked after sector, because the government is putting a lot of focus on the MSME. As we know that about 23% of the country's total workforce is being present in the MSME, and they are the job generators of tomorrow. They are helping grow the domestic demand or the domestic growth model when the foreign model has actually failed or may have lived their contribution, and they are more guided by their own country preferences. So the MSME or the small businesses are becoming slowly the lifeline of growth, and the government is giving more and more guidelines to improve to build a common playing field for the small businesses in terms of soft loans, in terms of holidays, tax holidays, and there are a lot of many policy matters that are coming up. Every 6 months, there are major discussions of the government along with the MSME. Now MSMEs are forced, so they go as a committee to the government. The discussions are happening, improvement is happening. So it's very, very important. And MSMEs, as we can see, that they will be a critical sector for pushing India's growth, because they are the job generators of tomorrow, and they will be solving a lot of problems of the country along the way, because each product will actually solve some problem along the way, and has to be a sustainable model, has to build a sustainable model. We are very sorry to see that even the big businesses are not able to build a very sustainable model, because within 2 years there are so many issues coming up that they are not able, their layoffs are happening. So the idea of the Idea Factory is to guide businesses and also to build a sustainable growth model, so that you don't slip back. And whatever efforts you put in, you have to continue with that effort in the next 5 to 10 years. So it's very, very important to build a sustainable model. And as you can see that these small businesses will be able to contribute about ₹1 trillion by 2028, which is not very far off. We are talking of only 5 years from now. We see it is a very potent force of growth of the country, not only of this country, but for us, for every country. Because today we have started discussions with USA, we have started discussions with Europe also, and we see even there also the small businesses are actually given a lot of importance today. So this is slowly becoming a lifeline of growth across the world, and because every country is kind of grappling with growth, and these are supposed to be a hope or a silver lining in the growth paradigm. Also, the MSMEs should not follow a linear approach of going from a state to for a city to a state to a country, then international. No, because if you leverage the digital model, you can actually grow everywhere. So you can have customers in India, you can have customers in UK, in UAE, wherever you can, but you have to serve them well. Getting customers is one thing, but you also have to serve them well, because the customers will come to you once, and then if you cannot hold them, they will also go away very quickly. The idea is to build customers. So you have to build a relationship with the customer, which is not a very, very easy job. As we see a lot of products and services today, even within India, there are so many pitfalls, so many gaps, where even the big companies are not able to meet up with the expectations of the customers. But that we have to solve. So there's an opportunity there. So more and more businesses should be able to solve the problems of the customers. And once the customer comes on board, they should be able to maintain a relationship. The entire IT industry today, if they have big clients over the years, over the entire years, which is around the US and UK, because they have solved and they have continually added value to the customers, until and unless you get clients on a long-term basis, you will also be struggling with your own financials. So it is important to get the customer on board, but also enter into a long-term contract with the client as quickly as possible, so that that helps you your own financials, your own predictions of revenues and profitability, and also help you organize the setup better. So it's very important to understand the requirements of the customer and offer something better. With this, my next question to Mr. Mukherjee. Mr. Mukherjee, if you can throw some light on the leadership crisis in MSL.
Yeah. So that is the main problem because leadership is always an issue for the growth of SME, because we can find that there are a lot many problems in an organization. Mostly organizations are driven by the promoters or the director or the CEOs, and that is how that organization actually fall into the trap of being having very low kind of the vision, because the organization most of the organization is not having a proper board. They are actually handled or guided by a single person or single kind of the philosophy. In that case only they'll have a very myopic vision, and that is the problem. They cannot actually go beyond some limits. So there is always a leadership crisis in the MSME or SME, this kind of thing, and that is why probably they cannot grow beyond a limit. And that is what is happening in India. So the leaders need to have a different kind of the mindset first, because if they want to grow, they do have a different kind of the mindset to actually overcome or go beyond the limit. That is we say that it has to be a kind of the leadership quality that will bring the organization to the global arena. When the organization actually grows, they have a this kind of the leadership this kind of the leadership. So leadership, we need to first have a this kind of the leadership that organization should have. Then there is a kind of thing, the challenges are like that it should have a proper team, proper process and everything, but everything will not work unless until there is a proper vision and a proper leadership. So if there is no proper leadership, so I think that organization needs to be trained, or needs to go to some consulting firm or some kind of the thing who has got the proven track record to provide the means leadership kind of the training. They should take help, because without which that it is not possible to grow. And I have seen the most of the organization, they do not spend, or they actually don't go to any kind of the consulting firm generally for leadership development training. If they go also, that is only a kind of a means formal kind of the training that I don't think it works or in any way. So they should actually implement it very seriously, and they should take this kind of the philosophies to implement it. Then only the leadership crisis can be solved, and the means a new kind of the philosophy can be means implemented in the organization. It's all about the philosophy. The philosophy the organization runs, that is a kind of the leadership philosophy they need to imbibe, or they need to interact. So I think that organization first need to be open to adopt the new philosophy, and when they adopt the new philosophy, and means after implementing that kind of the philosophy, the leadership actually goes means beyond their defined limit. So that is how we can solve the leadership crisis. So this is a very important. Most of the organization, they do not apply this kind of the philosophy. That's my personal experience, and I think that that is why the organization get the myopic vision, and that is why they don't grow basically. So this is a kind of the thing that I want to share, that they should have a open-minded, infinite kind of the thinking, and they should always be open to approach the organization to get the new philosophies, and leadership crisis can be solved. So my next question to Mr. Majumdar, that thought leadership is a paradox. How can you actually explain it?
Right. As I think this will be a continuation of the discussion that we were having before. As we have already told you, we have been talking about thought leadership in almost every other video recording, and it is becoming some kind of a thought process that the idea factory building from time to time. Why is it becoming a paradox? Because thought leadership is something that we are pushing businesses to go forward with. That means you build something futuristic. You build something over and above what you are based on. That means you have a starting point, your product or your service has to be one level up. If that is a mindset, so thought leadership automatically you have a futuristic product or service, and slowly you will be able to be the leader in the market in terms of your, and also bring in the innovation in every aspect of the business. It is not only about the product or the service, but how you reach out to the customer, how you serve the customer, how you behave with the customer after the money has been transferred. What is the service that you give, and what is the rating that the customer. So that way, thought leadership is a very potent tool for any customer, for any organization to get into the heart of a customer. But why is it a paradox? As you told in the other way, because we are talking to small businesses, and these small businesses are not exactly the right candidates for innovation, because they are still struggling with the feet on the ground. Their operational model is not in place. So can we go to innovation? Can they come out with a new product or a service every 3 months or every 6 months? It is very unlikely, because they have still not got their own operational model in place. Their revenues are not in place. Their employees are not in place. Their customers are not in place. Then how do we take thought leadership forward? And that isn't that true for not only them. And as we told you, this is for us also. But why are we talking about it? Because ideas can come to you at any point in time, and then you have to put it down everywhere. Okay, so once you put it down, you have to build it upon at a suitable time. So whenever an opportunity comes, you take that idea forward. So what we do is, whenever we have a bundle of ideas or a bank of ideas, and we keep on tracking whatever new thoughts that come to our mind. We have a checklist of a lot of ideas, but whenever we come to a new opportunity, we talk to that person or that association and take that idea portion forward. So it's always in the making. Okay, so it's not, don't, let's not think it over that it would be happen only when I reach a particular size, because that will take a lot of time, and it is not a gated approach. You can do small improvements at even at any stage of your business. So that way, the ideation and the brainstorming is very, very important at even a small stage of the business, and it is not restricted to the entrepreneur. It is we also have to build a platform where everybody ideates, and you have a system where people give their thoughts, their ideas into the system, and you take it forward, and you actually give credit to that person when that idea moves forward. So it's a lot of effort that goes into taking new thoughts or ideas aboard, but at the same time, it also takes the boredom or the what should I say? It's a routine work, takes people away from the routine work and get more and more excited. That's the oxygen of your business. So if you want to have an oxygen of your business, your ideation and your brainstorming continually have to be there. We have talked about competitive advantage, because if you have new products, new services, you have slowly your customer will see value in your product and they will stick to your business. Okay, if they see you that you're continually adding value to them, thinking about their business, adding some value to them, it would definitely be a competitive advantage for you, and the customer will come. Just like we build relationships across everything that we do, we generally go to one shop for buying something. We generally support one doctor or whatever we do. We generally, go to one online portal to buy your thing. Slowly, we build a relationship with that. And so, if you want to be that relationship guy, you have to build a competitive advantage. And let us also remember that a part of it, your problem is solved, because today you have a lot of digital tools in your hand, but that does not bypass your importance of a physical product. So slowly, every business will have to build a hybrid model. So there will be a digital support in places where you don't have physical access, but also you have to have a physical model wherever it's possible. Okay, so slowly there has to be a hybrid process of, so people can understand these people are serious in business, so they have a physical presence, but they also have a digital. And as we said, value for money, which means that you add more value to the customer vis-a-vis the money that you take from him. Of course, it is not free always. Everybody is giving out free. So free is an important element of your business parameter also. But at the same time, when you charge, you must ensure that you add more value to the customer, so that the customer sees that there is seriousness, and they also get a sense of your own capability as to solve the problem. So you become the go-to person for the customer to solve any problem of theirs. Okay, so that is one innovation cycle, as we have already covered this now. And slowly it will also take you to the level of scalability, because if you do not scale your business, it will not reach out to the nook and corner. India is a huge market. If you actually can tap certain portions of the market, there are people who are raining money over there because they have got certain things right. So if they have got the same customers, you can also get the same customers, and you can scale up your business either digitally or physically or a mix of both, but at a speed that is suitable to you within your capability. Because you cannot run so fast as a big business. You have to run small. But if there's a guidance force, we are definitely we can be a guiding force or a mentor for businesses to go slowly from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 to stage 4. My next question to Mr. Mukherjee. Mr. Mukherjee, if you can throw light on some of these through some examples.
Yes. See, the thing is that there are so many examples right now because India is currently going through a kind of the phase where we can see only the startups and the MSME right now every corner. But I must tell you, the picture is not that rosy as also because there are so many failures. But we should not look at the failures. We should see the success. And I'm very happy to say this kind of the word that we are getting so many unicorns. So many unicorns, so many organizations are coming with the success stories. We can see means starting from the physics wala to Mama Earth to Nika or the sugar cosmetics, they all of them actually make a very good story of their success. So definitely there is a prospect, there is a bright future ahead. But I must say that the examples only show that how they have become right now, but we have not seen the kind of the phases or kind of the transformation that has gone through. So I must request all the business owners not to see or consider only the success part, but try to see the transformation part. Because without transformation, nothing can be converted into the success. It's a kind of the thing that if you want to get a butterfly, so butterfly should needs a kind of the transformation as well to actually fly ahead. So always that I actually means it's a kind of the thing that I always share that success story is very good. It's very good to hear and good to share, but try to understand that what kind of the transformation organization needs actually to get its success. So transformation is very much required, and for the transformation only there is a kind of the support is required. Because I must tell you, because one day the thing is that when you want to transfer something, it's not possible within the organization. It's a blank statement, because if you want to transform your organization, you could have the very good experience, or you could have the proper knowledge and expertise, still you cannot transform. Because if you want to transform your organization, you need to seek help from from someone outside. That is very true. So that is why I say always that be open about the ideas. So don't have any kind of the ego, or don't have any kind of the financial kind of the thinking also behind it. Because I have seen that when people want to get some consulting, means want to get some consulting assignment, they think that there is no fund, or there is no kind of the budget for that. So these are the things that should not be in your should not actually be limitations. So be open to all, seek help, or the seek kind of the help from the organization that could transform your organization into a different one. So if you do that, you will also become a success story, and that is how that we can actually grow. The organization can grow from a small and medium to a larger scale organization, and probably they have a good kind of the global footprint as well. So that is the only thing that I can share. And the last question I would ask Mr. Majumdar to speak about.
Right. We've come to the last question. So basically, we will throw some light on the kind of services that we are offering. Yes. Typically, we have started, as you know, that we offer certain services every month, and these services are increasing over time. So we give the options to the client to decide what kind of services they want to take from us, and we have kind of we remodel the services according to the requirements of the client. Okay, so typically, if you look at the May, we are talking of 3 services, and on the second Saturday, third weekend, and fourth weekend. Okay. So, but what are the services that we are offering to them? Basically, as we said, for a beginner, we would request them to come for a very short session, which is a kind of a half a day session, wherein you can get a preliminary idea of what we are giving on a certain amount of theme, which is business growth. That means how do you grow your business? A quick fix, understanding of how the small businesses are performing, what are the challenges, what are the solutions. that we can give, and that's a half-day session that we are offering, typically on the second or the third Saturday. Okay, this will be followed by a medium program, which is of 2 days, where we are covering something like an MSME consulting program. But this will also rotate because we have a huge set of other I'll show you in the other slide also. We have other topics also. So we might rotate, take up one topic every month, and we can cover that topic in these 2 days of training. Okay, so this is also a half day program. So into 2 days, so that will give you a glimpse of the kind of training. Typically, we are starting with half days, but if the client wants, we can even go for a full day training of 2 days also, because we have been doing it before. And for specific to customers, we can do that also. And thirdly is a slightly bigger. Once they are convinced with program of A or B, they can also come to us for program C, which is a coaching service, which is also, Saturday, Sunday, weekend kind of a model, wherein, again, half day for, 3 hours per week. And then it spreads over about 8 weeks, which is 2 months. So there's a certain amount of training given, there's a certain amount of homework or assignment is being given, and then again we take that forward. So it's a kind of a staged or a step-by-step approach to improvement. But at the end of the 2 months, the client should be able to see a significant amount of improvement in their results vis-a-vis what they are at a starting point, which is very important to measure. In fact, all of these training programs, we have a measurement criteria so that the client can see visible improvement in their results once they go through this training. Because trainings, you come and go, you don't, and later on you don't lose the track of what the training has impacted you. If you quantify the measurements and you keep in touch with us, obviously you will see the improvement, and then continuous dialogue with us. Because once the training happens, a lot of questions will come. So we will be able to address these questions one on one, and slowly we will be able to take the whole thing forward. It becomes a joint responsibility. It's your own problem, no doubt, but at the same time, it becomes our responsibility also as well. And if we solve it, it also becomes a lesson that we take some of these things forward across other businesses. So these are, as of now, these are the three models that we are talking of. As you can see, this is currently a digital model, because we are targeting customers across the metro cities in the country. So digital is the best solution, but over time we will definitely move towards a hybrid model wherein we can go physically and do programs with them. As of now, these are planned as open programs, but we are also open to talking to customers, and if there are more candidates in that particular company, we can do customized programs for them also. This is a slide which is for the coaching services, where we have broken up the coaching module into four verticals, wherein we study the current situation and then slowly go from the business challenges to digital plan to the customer acquisition. The fourth part is the customer acquisition. As we said, if you can improve your revenues, a lot of things, problems will get solved, and that is a challenge for all of us. Not only of you, but for you, us also. Every customer that you bring in, you should be able to solve, improve, give some value to the customer, and also be profitable at the end of the day. Giving away free will not help you build a sustainable model, but also you have to give a free. So there's a quick balance of giving certain things free, but at the same time also charging them, and also adding value to customers. I have worked in some companies which had a product or a service of 50 lakhs 10 years back. Now the product is about 1 crore, and there are many lakhs of, I'm talking of trucks and buses. There are lakhs of such people who bought these products at such high price. We are talking of 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs, 80 lakhs, 1 crore. Products that are being bought, of course, on the business part, also B2B selling, but there are customers who are buying that kind of price products also. At the same time, I've worked in companies which are smaller, which is telecom also, which are low price products. So there are different segments which go for high value products. There are also segments which go for low value products, and you have to understand the requirement of the price it correctly, but also have a dynamic model which understands the mood of the market and gradually improve your pricing model slowly. Okay, so that's quite a challenge, and we break it up. If you have these 4 modules over 2 months, of course, that means that gives you 8 weeks. So one module in 2 weeks time. So that's the process that we are following, and then gradually it will have a bit of homework, assignment, presentations, and also one-to-one interaction with the client that would give a significant improvement to the business services of the customer. Okay. Beyond that, these are the kind of videos those of us, those of you who know us, we have been putting up a lot of videos on our YouTube channel, which is free, which is available for anybody to consume. And these are the topics that we've already covered. There are about 2 or 3 videos on every topic that we have put here. Okay, so we have as of now, we have a very good catalog of topics where the client can choose from, but at the same time, the client can come up with his own ideas also. But as of now, we have already done a lot of work. So when you come to a restaurant, you already have a catalog, but you also have customized services also. On top of, so what are we giving? We are giving training, we are giving coaching, we are giving consulting, advisory. We are also into writing services, which is very important to mention here because I have written a few art books also. Then I also write, and Mr. Mukharjee is also writing. So there are consultants in our team who can write well, and we are also taking up writing assignments for clients over a short period of time. And these will also give away a lot of thought leadership ideas to the client, which the client can discuss and brainstorm on its own, or we can give them support. So once we do a write up, you can also have a discussion around, which could be a case study. You can give different aspects, perspectives, and a boardroom discussion over there, and that would give a great perspective on the thought that we are bringing forward. We are very excited to bring a lot of energetic ideas into our clients' businesses, and we hope that it is a boost to the customers. On top of that, we are doing something interesting. As you know, that we have been building our WhatsApp group very silently and slowly for the last 6 months. Today, we have a sizable group of people in our WhatsApp group, but we are kind of giving a flavor because we are building a relationship with our clients, and we know that it is not a one-time training that will solve this problem. The client needs to interact with us on a regular basis. So we are trying to give it a name, which is called the Idea Factory Club, which is our distinguished relationship building with our clients. So once the client, registers for a program, he's entitled for a membership of the club. So he has to enroll for a program, of course. So it could be a small program like an A category or a B or a C. And the A category gives him a membership of 1 month. It means that you can be a member of this group for 1 month. So through these, you can ask us a lot of questions. We can answer a lot of questions to that. B is a slightly high value. So we are giving you a 2 months free membership, and C is a coaching service. So that will give you 6 months membership after the program is over. So that's a interactive WhatsApp group, and then we keep on talking to you. We solve your problems, we understand, and then you are in continuous dialogue with us. And if you do any one program every month, which we are also talking to our clients, if you do one program